Mother told me this afternoon. In the night while I was sleeping, the weeping started. The killer started his death wall. Can't feel my blood flowing any longer. Now I'm at the news. Don't know why my pulse beats any longer. Why I can't bring them back. I can't bring him back. When the killers come to call, shooting through the walls, they're building other walls out of blood-stained stone. Water of hate, bricks of fear, and I'm numb, speechless at the words. When every heart stopped last night, every wound bled, every shot deafened ears. When the killer fell, we all were silenced, and his voice turned to dust. And I wonder when our turn will be. Why are we still here, and are we free? Free at all. When the killers come to call, they're shooting through the walls, building other walls out of blood-stained stone. Mortar of hate, bricks of fear, and I'm numb. singing joy to the world. Now heart to heart marriage starts. There's a simple truth waking in a promise we make tonight. Every sunrise we wake up holding close in loving arms. The truth we won't let go of. Yes, we hold on to love. Make this kiss last, this is how it starts. Change has come. Change has come. Change has come. And we will not be moved. Married and free. Our love dares to say its name. It's the same for people and a brown leaf on the wall talked to me the other day, and I believed with the change that has come, with the change that has come, change has come.
Thank you all for joining us for Space, a poem making workshop. We are going to give any latecomers about 5 more minutes to trickle in. And in the meantime, feel free to just use the chat to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from if you haven't done so already. So in the meantime, we will have one more music piece from Chaz Hill and Esther Azusa.
Songbird sings, songbird sings, songbird sings for you. Water flows, water flows, water flows to you. Amazing, amazing. We desire one thing. We want what freedom brings. Democracy for all. We want the same things. What freedom brings. equality, justice for all. Seasons come and go, flowers bloom, leaves fall one by one. Our love grows as we grow older, our story unfolds. And it's amazing, amazing to love like we love, like water flows unending. We want the same things. What freedom brings, equality, justice for all. And it's amazing, amazing. Love can calm the seas, love can quench the fires, love can heal the pain.
Right. Good morning. My name is Alofa, and I am the event coordinator for Samaritan Counseling Center Hawai'i. We are so glad you could join us. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to enter your name and where you're joining us from in the chat. A little bit about us. Samaritan Counseling Center Hawai'i is a nonprofit organization that provides professional, accessible mental health counseling sensitive to the spiritual traditions of individuals, families, and communities in Hawaii, regardless of their ability to pay. We also coordinate community events like this one to provide mental health education, strengthen resilience, and help reduce the stigma of mental illness. As part of our creative coping series, we will be offering a booklet. This one is the one that we had from last year. And so that is all the work created and submitted by our attendees. After today's workshop, you will receive a link that will allow you to submit work if you choose to do so. And you're welcome to submit work that you didn't create during this workshop as well. So once I'm done with introductions, we will jump right into writing our poems. But before that, some housekeeping. This workshop is for educational purposes only and is not therapy or treatment advice. Please consult your physician or a qualified health provider if you have specific mental health concerns. Please keep in mind that we want to create a safe, supportive space where people are free to share their stories and questions and receive understanding and compassion. Also, we are recording this workshop so it can be uploaded to our YouTube channel later. If you would prefer, you are welcome to change your name on Zoom to protect your privacy. Last but not least, we do ask that you remain muted when you are not speaking and use the chat function when necessary. Now on to our workshop. Our presenter, Chaz Hill, will guide us through space in 3 acts. Chaz is a poet, singer-songwriter, and performance artist with roots in North Carolina and South Korea. He now lives on Oahu with his spouse of 27 years. Over to you, Chaz.
Ni hao. Ohayo gozaimasu. Buenos dias, bonjour, buongiorno, shalom. Salim, 안녕하세요. Good day, mates. Aloha. Aloha. First and foremost, thank you for registering for this coping series, this writing workshop, space, poem making. Second, thanks for giving 90 minutes of your life to this experience. Escape into words. Make some poems, 3 to be exact. When all is said and done today and all is written down, consider yourself a character along the way. Possibly 3 roles you might take on. 1 for each speaker you flesh out on the stage of each poem in a setting with a voice. You are their creator. So, let's get going. I invite you to ponder and write at home or wherever you are, on paper and in chat, briefly write some lines. Based on these 3 prompts, we have screen shared. For anyone unfamiliar with the prompt, please check out the chat in a few minutes for a definition. In the prologue, we aim our writing prompts to focus on and arouse your interest in writing a poem. So here they are. Where am I? Who I am in this space is. My questions about writing a poem are, so I invite you to go a few steps with me on our way to stopping by a space to write for 5 minutes. After you write on paper, please put all or any part of your answer into chat. After you write on paper, please put all or any part of your answer into chat. Start the clock. Ready, set, go. Go write. Hi. Take time to read over to yourself what you have just written. If you haven't, take all or any of it and type it into chat. As you're doing this, I'll say something. Why put it into chat? Well, you don't have to. But here's the value. You have the opportunity to see your poem in a different place. It's helpful for you to hear somebody else read your own words. Reading, revising, rewriting, listening to the sound of every word are all part of making a poem, the process. And by entering your poem into chat, you'll have the opportunity today, if you wish, for someone else to read your words. We are delighted We're so delighted Sean Joseph Takeo Kahaukalani Chu is with us today. He's here in the room, and Sean is our poem reader. Sean, welcome. So, anyone care to share? Type in chat, please. I want Sean to read my words. Or, I want to read my words. Just type that in chat, and we'll be watching, and we'll do some sharing. I'm seeing some amazing entries here. Okay, Wendy, I see you there. And Sean, would you read what Wendy has written?
Sure. Where am I? Scattered place, a shattered place, a hopeful, there's a doorway through place. Where I am in this space is a place of longing. You can feel it, a shift nudging. For what? My questions in writing a poem are how to focus, whittle things down, simplify, orient, attune, clear the mist to doorway soon.
Mahalo.
Thank you. We've
Someone
also
else?
got requests from Julie and Lisa to read theirs as well.
Okay. I am a flower in bloom. I am a flower in bloom. Then I am in a transitional place in life. A big positive shift is inevitable. I'm seeking amongst other seekers of knowledge and truth. I'm a flower in bloom, oh late bloomer that I am, planted here and there in soil and sand, in hearts and heaps, and blooming here at last.
Chris J.
I'm not sure how to pronounce some of the territories, excuse me, Wasanac, and I'll just skip over the names. I am on the traditional ancestral and unceded territories of these nations, on the beautiful, bountiful lands of the welcoming Coast Salish peoples, in my home, in my writing space. In this space, I am a visitor, a traveler, a stranger, a friend, a seeker of truth, an observer, a witness, and a vessel for words, thoughts, and ideas.
Mahalo for sharing your work. Fellow travelers, a flower in bloom, a grieving one on the mountain of solitude. There's so many questions, and we're looking to doorways. Close your eyes. Would you do that for me? Close your eyes, if you don't mind. Consciously Take a few breaths. Once again, with your eyes closed, on the inside, what colors do you feel? What images do you imagine? Colors, images. Open your eyes. Go on and write in chat an image you see today, an emotion you are feeling connected with that image, and a color you feel identifies you. Write in chat an image you see today, an emotion you are feeling connected with that image, and a color you feel identifies you. 3 things in 3 minutes. Let's write. We're going to travel on a little further now, further up and further in. Act 1, empty space. What freedom brings. Do some of you enjoy drawing? I'd like for us to think about pictures in our heads, pictures we put into words, and start a new poem. Think about it. For example, picture this. How do I begin a poem? How do I end a poem? How do I begin a poem? How do I end a poem? You can write anything, but you might want to write about what brought you here today. You might want to write about what do you want to happen in this empty space. This is our starting point. Use the prompt on the slide if it's helpful to you, or just strike out in your own direction, on your own path somewhere. Pick your words as you go. I wanted, but, with a heart, I must, and I will. Are you ready? Ready? Put it on paper. Put it into chat. Please put your questions into chat too. You have 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Get set. Start the clock. Go right. Thank you all for writing, and for also those of you who choose to type your poems into chat. And please continue to do so. Before we start reading your poems out loud, I have two very short poems for you. First one is a one-line action poem. Ready? A cow jumping over the moon cannot finish too soon. On the next one, I want to share a little background. It's an even shorter poem. I heard it in 1983. I was a graduate student researching classical Korean oral literature in the College of Humanities and Sciences MA program at Seoul National University. It was my first semester at SNU, and that spring, sometimes on graduate school class days, when I looked outside our window in the classroom, I was able to see and hear unarmed undergraduate students, hot and passionate, demonstrating against the Chun Doo-hwan government regime's military dictatorship. Students clashed with conscripted army riot police, armed with protective helmets, shields, billy clubs, and tear gas guns. Whenever the police invaded the sacred, protected academic world of our campus, students erupted. Sometimes, depending on the wind direction, we got a nose full of tear gas wafting through our windows if the riot police were too close when they fired. The students answered them by throwing rocks. Throwing rocks. Other than throwing rocks, students demonstrated peacefully. They sang, Woody Sunni Hadira, Woody Sunni Hadira. They held up pro-democracy banners. They wanted an end to censorship, free elections. Students chanted loudly, Mu Tan, Mu Suck, Mu Tan, Mu Suck. No tear gas, no rocks. No tear gas, no rocks. That is the setting, okay? One day in class, we were studying Hyanga. Hyanga. Hyang means home, that place of our hearts, home, or our physical home places. Ga means song. So it's the song of our home place. That space in us that we love and we want to express. We were in that class, and our very large and imposing Yonsei University professor, the renowned Dr. Dong-Uk Kim, he sat as usual. He was with us in a small circle, smoking a cigarette while he lectured. That day, he paused. We were talking about 10th century Shilla Korean people's rural songs and classical lyric poems. Hyanga. He looked directly at us. After what seemed like a very long time, Sunseung-nim, our teacher, smiled, not smalled. He smiled, and it was a big smile. Sansang Nim smiled broadly as we heard waves of loudly demonstrating students slowly fade away into the distance, winding down a hill toward the campus main gates. As he blew out a train of smoke, he spoke. The shortest poem in the world is Baman Nomu Kilda. Bam Nomu Kilda. Baman Nomu Kilda. Any snake is too long. Any snake is too long. I don't know what gets lost in translation, but we all laughed hilariously in the context. So, however long or short it is, you can take time now to read your poem aloud. Anyone like to hear Sean read your work? Just put it into chat. Someone is fine with someone reading my poem or reading it myself, I think.
Yes, we have two people lined up. Our first poet to read is Vinay.
Sure, just give me 1 second. Yep. So,
Take your time.
thank you. So, this goes something like this. Upon this hallowed bench I sit, in the grip of sorrow's stone, the spectre of my dear beloved, carved in stone, my only home, a haunting visage etched on walls, neath night lamps' spectral gloam. Her tomb, a cruel echo chamber, each thought a crushing stone. Sisyphus, my spirit kin, our hearts entwined in labor. Endlessly we toil, in dark despair we waver. A rolling stone, a silent tomb, love's sweet but tragic flavor. Death's bitter kiss, a memory lost, a moment we can't savor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful image. Gripping. Feel free also to write some encouraging and supportive responses to what we hear today in the chat as well.
We also have Julie, who said that she is fine with reading the poem or reading it herself, having Sean read it or reading it herself.
What choice would be made? Was that Julie?
Yes.
Julie, say Sean or say I'm going to read.
Sean, would you like to read it? That'd be great.
Sure. Opening the door, smiling, I wanted to welcome whoever wants to arrive at the door to a poem. This pen and empty space are the door and the place of welcome. Surprisingly, I felt so timid, as though I am the one arriving, uncertain about so many things. Shall I remain just outside the door and knock? I choose to pause, and the walled garden around the back welcomed me.
I love the welcome in this poem in a very different light than the poem on the excuse me, I'm finding my way. The grip of sorrow's tome. It's like It reminds me of a Chinese poem that Ezra Pound translated, "The River Merchant's Wife." How one image you can grab onto and really go deeper and deeper into a creation of a voice in your poem. And that's what I feel in the two poems we've heard just now. Feel free to chime in if you have other thoughts. Again, we'll be happy to go back in chat in time and find your work if you would like Sean to read or to read yourself. We're simply trying to utilize chat as much as possible so that we have more opportunities to hear words, write words, read words into poems. Thank you.
We have Lisa in the chat who is willing to read her poem.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. I wanted love. From a young woman, I dreamed of being in love. But my past hurts and deep-seated trauma blocked this desire. Now, with a heart that is tender and guarded, I must believe that love conquers all. And I will embark on this journey to find my soulmate.
Beautiful. I instantly thought of one of my favorite short poems. It's just simply called a preface poem. And one line that your poem just immediately brought to my mind was, "With a heart singing the songs of the stars, I must love all dying things." And just that idea that, yes, love conquers all. I mean, I think all of us here, it's pretty well evident to give 90 minutes. We also love words, the sound, what they do to heal us when we express and make us more whole, and also give to someone else the opportunity to experience what we make. I am so thankful. I would love anyone to read just words. That's what this whole day is about. And let us know in chat that you want Sean to read or you want to just read yourself. Let's continue on. All right. Our escape, and I do see this as an escape. For me, it's just like, oh, so nice to breathe in this space with you all. Our escape into poetic language goes on. Act 2. Our space. Our. Take a look at the triptych of prompts in the slide we've screened. If they are helpful, use some in your next poem. I saw you, I heard, I smelled, I touched, I am, you are, and even if we shall, living this way, with you I know. I move through space knowing, since it only happens. For this poem, try to think of a relationship. Relationships can be to a thing, a place, a relationship with a person, real or imagined, desired. Choose one. Choose a relationship. Write a poem with 3 stanzas. You notice the prompt is tripart. So write a poem with 3 stanzas and 4 lines. If you wish, create atmosphere and story by drawing images beside or in your poem. Use the space on your page in front of you fully. With these 3 stanzas, 4 lines, each. Rhyming is good, it's optional. Free verse, the meter accented where you choose. You decide how the poem sits in this space. Use one or as many sense words as you like. After you finish writing on a piece of paper, type all or part of your words in chat. Transfer them over, 1, 2, or all 3 stanzas into chat. Feel free to start now. You'll have 10 minutes to write 3 stanzas, 4 lines in each stanza. Please draw on your senses: taste, smell, hearing, vision, touch. Stay comfortable. Start the clock. Go right. Hey, how's it? Anyone like to read? Have Sean read? You know the ropes by now, so you can put it in chat or you can simply read it off your page. Just let us know, I want to read, I want Sean to read. And we'll move on. As you can also unmute and just say, I'll read, if you'd like as well, if you're more comfortable doing that. Ah, Lisa. 2 stanzas is fine. You're painting outside our box. That's great.
I can read.
Okay.
Okay. I feel the tide is changing. I can hear a positive lulling as I daily walk my path, not knowing, but knowing that I am a conqueror. I can do hard things. I will overcome, and things will be all right. Living this way is the only way to have a meaningful life every day on this journey as we prepare for flight.
Wow. Immediately the ocean sounds came to me, the tide. I love the layers and conqueror meaning to fly and to prepare to fly. I think we have someone else ready to read.
Sure. So I might have think way too much out of the box. I took the relationship part and expanded on that. And I used the prompt a bit, but not completely. Having
Good.
said that, I'll begin my poem. Uh, Her fragile form encased in wood, on lifeless morning dawn, an airport awash with sterile light, a tableau, a,
Oh, sorry.
a ta- no worries. You're on mute, by the way. No worries. I'll continue again. Her, frag- Her fragile form encased in wood, on lifeless morning dawn, an airport awash with sterile light, a tableau so forlorn. An empty casket to my heart, yet in love's cruel dawn, her beauty held, despite the chill, a rose amidst the thorn, a whispered laugh, a fleeting smile, locked in memory's chest. As waves do crash and stars do fall, so too she's laid to rest. Yet in that silent space between the heartbeats and the breaths, I find her there, suspended in the quietude of death. You're on mute, Chaz. You're on mute.
Yes, I am. It's unusual. What was the last word?
In the quietude of death.
Death?
Yes. Death with a small
D-E-A-T?
d. Yeah, with a small d.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Thank you. Others? Well, as we say in Hawaii, let's hele on. Hele on. Act 3. Their space. Their space, their eyes, their ears, their hands, their mind, their heart. Stay. Always makes. Making a poem is often a dialogue waiting to happen. This next poem you make, dedicate to someone. You know who they are. Address your words to their eyes, ears, hands, mind, heart. Again, everyone, if the writing prompts you see on the screen shared help, use them. Feel free to express yourself outside these bounds. We have 5 minutes to make this exercise happen on paper and then please in chat. Start the clock. Go right. Who would like to read aloud? Or have Sean read for you? Just a reminder, before you read, please turn on your mic, which I forgot to do already a couple times. And after reading, mute yourself again, please. For this last poem, I'm going to put on my listening cap. Okay, I'm ready to hear. Your poem will keep on speaking. It will keep on speaking for you even after you are muted. So anyone want to read?
We have Chris, who said that they are happy to have Sean read theirs.
Okay, Sean, let's read Chris.
For the new arrival, your eyes wide in amazement, your ears curling like tiny seashells, your hands tenaciously wrapped around my finger, your mind exploding with all this new world offers, your heart racing to the cosmic pulse. Stay joyfully in awe of all that is wondrous. Always make hope your default.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Sean, for a beautiful reading. Would anyone else enjoy reading? I see someone else coming in. Is that Jana?
A star in
Sean?
the night sky, a star in the night sky, a blade of grass among millions anchored to earth, turgidly rising, reaching up. The star offers nothing. Light not strong enough to open its stoma, no rain to offer. But the star is there when the sun is not, when the golden hour has passed. The star is there when rain does not fall, when the skies are clear. It does not have to be anything more. is enough like this, limitless.
Hmm. How many of us have looked up at the sky, at stars in the night sky, and it was enough? We want it, we want them to be there, and they are. And it is enough. And enough today to make a beautiful point. Someone else. I appreciate your comment, Rochelle. I love how it is enough to just be.
Um,
Yes.
um, I would like to read my poem. I'm Sylvia, and
Okay.
I'm not connected to chat. I can't get my Zoom to work on my laptop, so you're on my phone.
No worries. Thank you for
Okay.
reading, Sylvia.
All right. I would have left without you, but I saw a worker carrying you to your cage. I stopped him and asked about you. He said you were found locked in your house. Your master had moved away and left you behind and caged. I saw your troubles all over you, but I took you in my arms and held you and talked to you and felt your words and felt you. Your world came to me and let me know you were like my Simi and that you would be a good match for him as a companion. I breathed you in with my nose in your fur. You moved around in my arms like you knew me. We agreed to be each other's. Then came paperwork, the terrible cardboard box I was to keep you in until you were inside my home. A new carrier and a leash. And away we went after you cost me a fortune, $55. I brought you home and you checked all four corners. You didn't see me at first and you let him know that. I wondered if I'd made a mistake, but you were a young one, an upstart with a chip on your shoulder. And you took your sweet time becoming Simi's little brother. So he was so patient with you as you pounced on him. He was a big kitty and he would have hurt you, but he put up with you until you understand that he was giving you such grace. And when you made him furious, he would give you the lashing you deserved. The baby in you knew to respect age and authority, as well as the grace to let you grow up and learn. He would always be your big brother, your protector, when you were afraid so often and buried yourself under him when you wanted to hide from fear. You were my darling. You were my second love, a darker color than Simi, with fur so soft and smooth. It was like my old mink coat to touch you. You had mischievousness in your eyes, and you never looked happy. But you were a tormented teacher looking for a way to live in this world. You were a tormented teenager looking for a way to live in this world. that had treated you so cruelly when you were a baby. Babies need milk and love and cuddles, not being left all alone, abandoned in an empty house, in a cage. You carried those wounds always somehow. You never seemed what I'd call happy, though you were so beautiful and so wonderful. You were a little crazy when we went to Walmart during a tsunami warning. You were glad to get out of the car and walk the entire parking lot on a leash in the rain. You were wonderful, and our hearts broke when you left us.
Thank you for sharing the character, the settings, the narrative. Thank you, Sylvia. And thank you for working. Yes. And thank you for being able to be with us through your phone as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Do I see Julie? Julie, would you like Sean to read?
I can read it. That'd be fine. Okay,
Great.
sorry.
And thanks again, Sylvia.
Okay.
I too had to switch to my phone, so I'm going to stop the video just so I can read what I put in the chat. Okay.
We work with our technologies, don't we? Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Mine's kind of a combination of both your second hour space and also this most recent prompt. Rustling leaves, and you appeared, slowly swaying stripes of softest fur. Long tail held high as you arrive, tip flicking the air in a wave of sorts, but not toward me. Your tangy voice instead, a greeting that implored me to introduce myself, a visitor in your garden. I lean forward, bowing low, extending my hand palm down, both an introduction and an offering of touch. You accept by making the next move, putting your gentle face to my bent knee, a welcome caress from a stranger, so intimate and on your terms, yet I felt truly welcomed among your flowers.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I thank you all for sharing your work today and for continuing to share it as we come to the closing time. Though I think we're almost at 11:27 is what I show now. And but one thing I did want to quickly share is that your songs in words matter. And I believe what you've given to one another and to me today matters. You know, when I was a child, I lived with my maternal grandmother after my grandfather died. I'm not going to tell a long story, just one point. At night during high school, I would get an idea for a poem, that flash of inspiration after grandmother and I had gone to bed. She was in her big bed and I was a little single bed in the same room. And I would be like a stealth fighter and get up and go into the kitchen and sit down, turn on the kitchen light, and begin feverishly writing. And then I would hear a voice, Charles, which is what my grandmother called me. Charles, what are you doing? Oh, grandmother, I got an idea for a poem, and if I don't write it down, I'm going to lose it. Please, I have to write it. And of course, it was a school night. Grandmother said only one thing. Remember to turn out the light when you're finished. Remember to turn out the light. And that's how my grandmother helped me turn on the lights in my soul. I am so thankful for all of you being here. And aloha, you're ready for me to give our special thanks to Tom Fountain, Neil Izumi, Esther Izuo, River Kim, Frank Lee. These are dear artists who helped this music to happen for you today. A very special thanks to Sean Joseph, our poem reader. I would just love us to applaud his work today for us. And please, should you want more information about any of the resources and the works we've mentioned today, please send an email to info@samaritanhawaii.org. And again, you will have access to this information, but please feel free to send an email. A big mahalo from all of us to you poets who joined us from out there in space, creating your space, our space, their space. I want to say in closing, before I hand this all back to Alofa, be brave. Stay in peace. Keep writing. Aloha.
Thank you, Chaz, and thank you to all of you for joining us for Space. Before signing off, I do have a few quick things to review. I just put 2 links in the chat. The first link is for submitting your work to our Creative Coping booklet. We ask that you complete the intellectual property consent form so we can include your poem or any work that you'd like to share. Second, you'll find the link for our survey. Please go ahead and click on that link and fill out the survey now. It's not long and it will help us make the next workshop better. If you'd like to revisit this workshop or recommend it to a friend who could not attend today, you'll be able to find it on Samaritan Counseling Center Hawaii's YouTube in a week or 2. You will find the links to everything I just mentioned in the thank you email that went out about a minute ago, so it should be in your inbox already. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us. Thank you again, and if you'd like to stick around, there is one final song. Oh, we do have a question, Vinay.
Yes, so my question is, how long should the poetry be? Are there any rules or something along those lines?
No, sorry.
Yep, there aren't any rules, so whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Yes,
Perfect.
we welcome.
And I believe we do have
Perfect.
a question in the chat as well. Lisa asked, Chaz, do you have a poetry book?
Do I have a poetry book? That is interesting. I'm published in some other books, but feel free to send an email to info@Samaritan, and I'll be glad to share some access points and also my YouTube videos if any of you would like to, because my songs are all poems. So poems are songs. So yeah, thank you for asking. I don't have a collection. No, I do not have a collection yet. But I have collected stacks in my room waiting to happen. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
All right. Chaz, were you asking something?
Oh, no, I was probably just saying, come back to another coping series workshop. And with that, this song is called Coming Back, which we all love to do, right? The things we love.